Saying things like you should not keep all your money in one bank, that's not the answer. Where am I supposed to put my money then? The financial institutions are failing in protecting us.
An important warning tonight from a Mid-South woman who says that thieves stole $80,000 from her bank account.
And she says the bank didn't do anything to stop it. Fox 13's Sierra Jordan sat down with the victim, who's now concerned that she may never get her money back.
A woman I spoke to said she had a banking account here at Wells Fargo for 5 years. But when she checked her account statement back in March, she says all her money was gone and there was no way of getting that back.
I would want them to refund or reimburse my money back.
While this woman did not want to be on camera to protect her identity, she did want to speak to Fox 13 to warn you. She says thieves took tens of thousands of dollars out of her Wells Fargo's bank account.
There were 2 transactions amounting up to over $81,000. It was $81,400 something dollars.
The woman says she only withdrew cash using her debit card 3 times since opening her account 5 years ago. She says the transactions, taking money out of her account, were transferred electronically last November. But she says she received no alerts or notifications from Wells Fargo.
I couldn't believe that this was happening to me. I wasn't expecting anything to go out of that account. I called the bank immediately.
The woman was told the money was transferred to a Citibank account under her name and Social Security, but with an unknown phone number. She says she does not have a Citibank account and was not notified by the bank her information was being used to open one. She says she was told by Wells Fargo and Citibank that they will not reimburse her the stolen funds.
Saying that if you would have told us within 2 hours, we would have stopped that transaction from happening when they did not even send an alert.
The woman says she only gave her personal information, including her Social Security number and bank account, to at least 2 lenders for when she was buying a new house last September, and to the town she resides in to pay her bills. She says she doesn't know who stole her money, but what she does know is that her money is gone, and so is her trust in her bank.
I am changing banks. I am not going to ever trust a bank that does not care for its customers.
In Memphis, Sierra Jordan, Fox 13 News.
Now, big banks like Wells Fargo and Citibank are indeed insured by the FDIC, so typically your money is safe. The hang-up in this case, though, was the delay between when that money disappeared and when the victim reported it. At the very latest, you have 60 days after your statement is cut to notify your bank of fraud after you receive your statement. Most banks will allow you to sign up for fraud alerts, and that'll let you know about suspicious activity or big transactions if you allow. Fox 13's Your Money advocate Kate Beery recommends you sign up for those alerts and check your balances daily.
A small business owner is out almost $2,000 after criminals sold her an insurance policy that didn't exist.
Channel 2 consumer advisor Clark Howard breaks down the warning signs she missed and what you need to know to spot the fraud. It's a story that's all new at 5.
Crooks are constantly coming up with new ways to get in your wallet and mine, and it's up to us to spot the con and avoid getting taken.
Everything is like legit.
Mari Gomez is still amazed at how real the paperwork looks.
This is the contract that they sent me.
Less than a week after Mari acquired a license for her cleaning business, she got a call.
They were like, oh, well, we got this new contract for 110 homes.
But first, she would need to purchase liability insurance that they would be able to help her get.
This is when he tells me, go to the lady from Coastal Insurance.
Nicole Diaz told her she was an agent with the company and was able to get Mari a policy. But she had to make a down payment at a Chase Bank first. Using her debit card, Mari made the payment. Hours later, all communication was cut off. She knew something was wrong.
And I called the 1-800-CHASE, and I told them, oh my God, I just made a $1,750 down payment for insurance, and I just realized this is like scam or something. Oh, well, you need to call the police. Oh, sure, of course, and that's what I did.
We called Coastal Insurance. The company told us Nicole Diaz is not an employee, and they got multiple calls each day from people who've been scammed.
Fraud has exploded.
Supervisory Special Agent Aaron Sears says artificial intelligence has made it simple for the crooks.
You're going to get examples, you're going to get things that can help you be a fraudster, whereas before you had to do it all on your own.
And the numbers back them up. According to the FBI's annual Internet Crime Report, Americans have lost just under $40 billion to fraud since 2019.
Funds are fast-moving today versus years ago. A lot of these criminal actors are overseas, so we get movement offshore as well. That makes it more difficult.
In Mari's case, because she made the deposit with her debit card, Chase is not responsible.
We cannot credit you because this is not a fraud. This is a scam. That's what they told me.
There are things you can do to protect yourself. First, don't answer calls from unknown numbers. Even if caller ID has a legitimate company name, know that it still may be an imposter. If somebody's offering you a service for your business, check them out and get quotes from others.
Be vigilant. If it doesn't look like a legitimate opportunity, it looks too good to be true, just don't send your money. Give it a second thought.
You take my money and then you take this little dream? Like, not cool.
There's a pattern I'm noticing repeatedly with cons targeting small business and us as individual consumers. It's an if-then. We'll do this for you, but you got to do this other thing first. That if-then is a key tip-off that you're about to get taken. I'm Clark Howard.
And an important question. Could you fall victim to a sophisticated bank scam that begins with a simple text message? The government says scams of all kinds are soaring. Americans reported losing nearly $8.8 billion to fraud last year. That's up 30% from the year before. Our consumer investigative correspondent Anna Warner shows us how scammers stole a staggering sum from one woman's bank account. Anna, good morning. This was a lot of money.
Yeah, good morning. And you know, we've all gotten those texts from our bank saying, did you make a particular purchase? Well, next time you'll probably want to read it again and think before you respond. And the woman you're about to meet can tell you why.
It's got a lot of cheese on it.
Deborah Moss has spent more than a decade running her small catering business.
A couple more minutes.
In 2021, she says she'd finally saved enough money to slow down and move to rural Guerneville, California.
I'm not a young person anymore. I really was relying on just kind of a comfortable life at my age.
But a few weeks after moving in, she says she got a text saying her bank, Chase, wanted to know if she'd approved a $35 debit card charge from another state.
So basically, it's one of those fraud texts.
That's right.
Did you approve this transaction?
Yeah, that's all it was. Just a minor irritant in my day. And of course, I said, no, I don't approve of it.
Then the phone rang, showing Chase Bank as the caller, she says. And on the other end?
Hello, ma'am. This is Miss Barbara from Chase ATM. I'd like to know if it's okay if I give you a new card. And I said yes.
A new debit card. But she says the woman told her before she could issue it, she'd need to verify Moss's identity by sending her a text message and having her read the numbers in the message back to her over the phone.
And I would just repeat those numbers to her. And she'd say, that's great. Thank you so much, Miss Moss.
Her new card was supposed to arrive in 1 to 2 days, but Moss says the next day Ms. Barbara called, saying FedEx was having trouble locating her home, something Moss says wasn't surprising to her since she'd just moved. Over the next week, Ms. Barbara called several times, Moss says, each time saying there was a problem with delivery of the card, and each time asking Moss to verify her identity by reading back the numbers from those text messages. Moss finally decided to go to the nearest bank branch 30 minutes from her home. And it was here, she says, a supervisor told her.
He looks up at me and says, oh no, Deborah, this has been a very active card. As a matter of fact, all the money that you had in there is gone, and you actually owe Chase $895. That's how I was told that somebody had taken all my money.
Nearly $160,000 stolen.
It's a lot of money. It took me 12 years to get that money, and that was my life savings.
It turns out those text messages Moss received, they were real texts sent from Chase Bank, a security measure known as two-factor authentication, used to verify, among other things, wire transfers. But in this case, the scammers tricked Moss into giving them those numbers, allowing them to evade security and wire thousands of dollars from Moss's account to their own. 6 wire transfers in amounts as high as almost $48,000 in a single week.
I didn't even know what a wire transfer was. I've never done a wire transfer in my whole life.
Chase told Moss to file a police report, then a claim with the bank, which she did. But 5 weeks later, Chase denied her claim and blamed her, writing, "During our review, we found you did not take the appropriate steps to protect your account from theft or unauthorized use." Bank officials said they would not reimburse her account.
My world fell apart. My whole world fell apart.
In response to our questions, J.P. Morgan Chase told us in a statement, unfortunately, when scammers tricked Ms. Moss into sharing her personal confidential information, her account was compromised. But this former federal regulator says of the bank,
any way you look at it, they failed. They failed her.
David Weber teaches forensic accounting at Salisbury University in Maryland and is a certified fraud examiner.
Is that true? The bank could have required her to come in and sign the wire form in person. They left everything for her to be on risk. And now they're saying they bear no responsibility.
What's more, he says, those two-factor text message authentication systems aren't strong enough.
This is happening hundreds and thousands of times a day in the United States using the exact same methods here. The two-factor authentication is not strong enough to protect this customer.
J.P. Morgan Chase told us each year they invest hundreds of millions of dollars in authentication, risk models, technology, and associate client education to make it harder for scammers to trick customers. But Moss says,
You think of your bank as being someplace that you put your money so that it's safe, but it's not safe. It needs to change.
Now, Chase Bank told us they tried to contact Moss at the time with voicemails and emails. She said she never got any of those. But some tips from Chase Bank about protecting yourself here. Do not give out your ATM PIN, your passcodes to anybody. And please don't click on suspicious links in emails or texts. You want to avoid that, guys.
Oh, gosh. Anna, I mean, the key word there is suspicious links. How do you know if a link is suspicious? How do our viewers know? Because the scammers got into the account because of that initial click on a link. That's what led them in. How is that prevented?
I think you have to really look at these text messages very carefully. I've gotten them, and they look really real. If you have any question at all whether this is actually coming from the bank, and even if you don't, frankly, what you can do is look at the back of your card. The number is on the back of your card. Or go to the website and look for the number. Call that number, then ask, say, hey, I've got this text, but I'm not really sure if it's from you. Can you tell me if it is or not?
Yeah, that's good advice there. Wow, that's just an awful story. It's scary. She's right. You do put your money in the bank because you think it's going to be safer than under the bed, and in this case, it doesn't appear that it was.
Yeah.
All right, Anna, thank you very much.
Right.
Refund, refund, reimburse, reimburse, identity, identity, advocate, advocate, crook, crook, legit, legit, acquire, acquire, imposter, imposter, vigilant, vigilant.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.